We are wrestling.
Olympic hero Kurt Angle, and you're listening to the We Are Wrestling Podcast. We Are Wrestling Podcast.
Hey everybody, Eric Bischoff here, and you are listening to We Are Wrestling Podcast.
You're watching We Are Wrestling.
I'm the host with the most.
You are by far the least intelligent. Stay tuned, listen to the podcast. Best one, Donnie, might teach you a thing or two.
What is going on, We Are Wrestling Maniacs Worldwide? Ben here, one half of the We Are Wrestling Podcast.
If you ain't listening to the We Are Wrestling Podcast, bro, you're missing out. The king listens, and you need to too, bro.
Ricky knows best, ladies and gentlemen. Ricky knows best. Believe in me. God bless you.
We Are Wrestling Podcast.
We are wrestling.
What is up? We are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide. I'm the host with the most, Mr. We Are Wrestling himself, the best one, Donnie, here with...
What is going on, We Are Wrestling Maniacs Worldwide? It is Ben, Uncle Ben, America's favorite uncle, and wrestling's punching bag, back at it again for another episode. And man, what a week. What a week.
You couldn't have said it better yourself. What a week. And we got a lot of wrestling news to talk about this week. And we're going to be getting back on track because the month of November has been a crazy month, in case you've been hiding under a rock. But before we get into all the juicy stuff this week, if you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, and you're listening to this episode wherever you get your podcast, give us a 5-star review, not just any review, a best one review, and download the episode and give us a follow. But if you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, over on the YouTube channel where you get the best pro wrestling content, and you're not a part of the thousands of subscribers, we recommend you to hit that subscribe button now, turn on the post notifications. Videos be coming out of nowhere like an RKO, and of course you already know, the grind is real.
Holla, 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 holla. I don't fucking know, man. I was just right off. I never think about what to say until the second beforehand. So I'm just like, why do I do this to myself?
Well, it has been a tradition for probably about 50 episodes now, so you can't change it.
Yeah, man. It's been that. Every time I'm reminded how long we've been doing this, dude, it's wild.
Episode 135, Ben.
Oh, 150. 150 is going to be nuts. All right.
We are going to have to do something special for that.
Yeah.
But speaking of changes, one of the things that we do want to bring up as well in the beginning of this week's episode is we're going to be going into a new year, which means we want to change some things up with the We Are Wrestling Podcast. So we highly encourage you guys to comment down below, what would you like to see more on the We Are Wrestling Podcast? We like to change things up because we don't want things to get stale.
Yeah, dude. So, with the new year, I'm assuming it's coming like new logos and stuff too, right?
I think we're going to be keeping our logo, but obviously new intro.
Okay.
Probably new presentation. We'll probably keep things. We'll probably take things away. I don't know yet. We'll see what happens.
If you do a new fucking logo, we should try to do the WCW Nitro one next.
Ooh, like Inspire. Ooh, I like that idea.
Yeah, we should do the WCW Nitro one.
Well, there is a logo, a new We Are Wrestling logo that will be probably like a merch item and like a new branding thing going into the new year.
Ooh.
Thanks for reminding me, too, saying the Nitro thing. It's not a Nitro logo, just for the maniacs out there.
It's of the demographic.
But it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool logo.
Cool.
And a couple other things as well. If you guys want to support We Are Wrestling and get yourself some We Are Wrestling merch, you can go to Pro Wrestling Tees. It's a great holiday gift for the holiday seasons. It's all about giving, and what better way to give somebody a We Are Wrestling shirt?
Motherfucker, you were actually wearing your We Are Wrestling shirt the one night I don't, and I actually thought about it, but I'm like, nah, I wear that shit every week. He never wears his. And of course, today you're wearing yours. Okay. All right, I see how it
It
is.
is the holiday season, so we do kind of have to advertise our merchandise just a little bit.
He's giving thanks to Pro Wrestling Tees.
So, Pro Wrestling Tees, thank you. And also, too, over on the We Are Wrestling YouTube channel this week, if you guys want to check out myself and Ricky Knows Best, we gave our AEW Full Gear predictions because this Saturday, Ricky and I will be going live here on the We Are Wrestling YouTube channel for Full Gear, and we always highly recommend you guys to join the live streams. It's the best way to interact with us and just have a good time.
Yeah, and comment, motherfucker. We love interaction. Some of the best stuff comes out on live episodes.
Comment.
Yep, 100%, man. And if you keep commenting, depending on how juicy your comment is, if it's on a pre-recorded thing, you can always get put on the comment of the week, which we're going to be getting to here eventually in the podcast.
Yes, we are.
Speaking of which.
And man, what a weekend it was last weekend. Ben and I, we got the opportunity to work at the Wrestling Classic 5
Phenomenal
at
time.
the South End Community Center in Springfield, Mass. We've been advertising it during our commercials for the last couple of months, and what an event. I think for our highlight of the week, Ben, you can agree with me on this one, it has got to be having Nuncio at the We Are Wrestling table.
One of the coolest fucking guys on the planet. Like, that dude has so much riz, it's ridiculous, dude. If you guys ever get the pleasure of being in the same room as Nunzio, please go give Lil Guido some love. He's a really down-to-earth, genuine, authentic guy, holds a beautiful conversation. Just, again, so much charisma, and hopefully one day we will have him right here on the We Are Wrestling podcast for you guys to see. So 100% down. I definitely agree. Definitely the highlight.
What an incredible opportunity it was to work with a professional wrestler, especially with Nuncio's accolades that he's achieved in this business. I thought that this was a really cool opportunity and moment that we got to do, and I really want to take the time to thank Captain's Corner, Nick, and Zombie Hideout for giving We Are Wrestling this opportunity. This is our third Wrestling Classic that we worked, and we're going to be at the next one whenever it is. I don't know when we're having Wrestling Classic 6, but it's always been a great time, and this time around, it was just really, really special. And Nuncio will be a part of the podcast at some point. We do have his contact information, and it is something that he is very interested in doing. So definitely expect Nuncio, Little Guido to be on We Are Wrestling probably in early 2025. We'll just see how our schedules work, but what a cool fucking experience that was. And I want to thank all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs who did come to the table to either get yourself a shirt, get yourself a hat, wrestling figures, or even meeting Little Guido. I thought that this was a great opportunity for us to grow the brand, and who knows who we're going to bring in next time, because I think that this is something that we're going to have to do as a tradition.
Yeah. Dude, never
Great
in
turnout.
my life. Yeah, dude, fucking great turnout. Never in my life did I think that if I was ever, because you don't think about these things when you're a fan growing up. When you're a kid, you never think that, oh, I'm going to be a part of something that allows me to not only meet one of the people that obviously I looked up to, but to bring them in for other fans for signings. Like, you don't think about that shit when you're little. So thinking about it a little bit more as an adult, we've talked about the possibility of doing this for about a year and a half, maybe even longer now. Just because, would it be cool if we could do that? I've never thought in a million years that, Nunzio would be the first person who was somebody I fucking could not stand around 03, 04. I want to say 04, back when he screwed London out of the Cruiserweight title. I remember being fucking livid.
He was such a good arrogant heel.
And just, again, having even, Don Vito there, even as, which was kind of like his, his muscle, kind of, I guess, and we all saw how that turned out. A punishment turned into, but, I never thought in a million years it was going to be Nunzio, and just, again, I knew that as an adult, he's not really a dick behind the screens, but my God, dude, like beyond class act, and I'm so fucking happy that we actually got Nunzio out of anybody, because I feel like had we gotten anybody else for our first, they could have totally treated us different.
Exactly.
Nunzio's so humble.
I definitely agree with everything you just said there. And we really want to thank you guys for making this possible, because we wouldn't have been able to do this without your support. And your support, it doesn't cost money at all. Sharing the episodes, liking the videos, commenting, subscribing, listening, that helps us. That is the best gift you can give us.
Loyalty is free.
But speaking of gifts, WWID has been running around the last couple of weeks, announcing some of the top independent wrestlers in the world. And you already know we have to give some flowers to some of the independent wrestlers that have worked in the Northeast area, and we want to congratulate the latest WWID signings, which I believe happened last Thursday at Wrestle Open. So congratulations to Brad Baylor, who wrestled a lot for Northeast Wrestling, and somebody that we're very familiar with. He graduated at Creative Pro, Aaron Rourke, who did some stuff for Blitzkrieg Pro. Both got their WWIDs, which, man,
brother,
so happy for them.
I'm just starting to think that the North has the best talent, because I swear to God, more people from the North are getting signed more than anywhere. Like, I'm starting to feel that. Like, like the Northeast, man, and just the North in general, don't sleep on us. The East Coast, do not sleep, because a lot of our great talent that you love is from here. There is a reason that John Cena's from fucking West Newbury. There's a reason. Cody
and there's
Rhodes,
a reason,
and
there's a
Georgia.
reason why. There's a reason why Mercedes Moné is from this area too.
Okay, don't ever put her next to the goats. All right, stop.
I just thought that was a perfect place to do that.
It was, and I hate you for it.
Also, MJF, he did a lot in our area as well,
and
he's one of the bigger stars in
the youngest
AEW
fucking world champion, right? The youngest.
Yep.
So far.
Youngest one.
Okay.
And also too, Bryce Donovan. I know we gave him his flowers last week on the live episode.
Yeah, dude, Bryce Donovan, congrats, bro. My God, that's fucking awesome.
Huge opportunity, and he was the first male too to be announced.
Yeah, dude. Big ups to Bryce Donovan. That dude's gonna do amazing fucking things in one of these big companies one day, and I'm so proud to have said I've seen him a million times and know that he's a class act. So I'm, again, big ups to anybody that's getting signed right now, especially from our dudes and our ladies from the Northeast, bro. 100%.
Absolutely. And just a quick plug, next week during Survivor Series week, myself and Old School Phil, we're going to be doing a We Are Wrestling Extra, talking about all the latest WWID signings, and we're really going to be going in depth with the wrestlers that we know, obviously, because of Blitzkrieg and Northeast Wrestling. And it's going to be a great episode for, like, independent wrestling fans. Plus, we're going to be having predictions next week for Survivor Series and a massive watch-along. And it's your birthday on Friday, Ben.
Yeah. It's my last year of my 20s, guys. You would never think it. You would think I'm like some 18-year-old fucking punk-ass bitch, right? Nah, homie's almost 30. Which is wild. Nobody would call that shit. Maybe just with my crassness, but that's about it.
So... we also do want to let you guys know as well, a couple of our segments we haven't done the last couple of weeks because of how crazy November's been, and we are going to be getting back on track next week on Ben's birthday for the episode. And what better way to celebrate Ben's birthday than having a power of the poll? It will be coming back next week, so if you guys do want to go vote on the next power of the poll, it is up right now in our community tabs.
Dude.
And of course, later on in the show, we usually do a getting put over, but that will be coming back next week as well. And since it's Ben's birthday, he'll be the one to pick who we put over.
Okay. Dude,
but we'll get there later on.
I thought that October was nuts. Like, I wanted to pull my hair out and just have a fucking heart attack or something by the end of fucking October, because, dude, October was busy. And apparently November in its own ways is just as busy too. So
I
I'm
told
just like,
you, Ben. I
and
told
then
you
we
how
have the
busy it
holiday
was.
fucking season. So I'm just like, dude, there is no chill. And not even in fucking January, because Raw's going to fucking Netflix. So I'm like, dude, there is no chill until at least February.
Oh,
And
wait,
that's not
no,
even
there's
the
no
case.
chill in February either because Royal Rumble's happening in February.
Ah!
So I think our chill month. Well, no, because in March you have the road to WrestleMania. So yeah, we're not chilling until May.
Yeah, because fuck. Yeah.
But
we
what?
have,
But
like,
one thing that we have been very consistent with though is giving the We Are Wrestling Maniacs a new episode every week.
we have like a month of chill space in between like the Rumble and the Elimination Chamber and Backlash. So like we have like a month of oh god, I can't even fucking say that either because I'm like, dude, Raw on Netflix is gonna be so fucking huge. Like I'm gonna be able to watch the fucking shows every week now. I'm gonna be able to watch the shows every fucking week now. Like I can just turn on fucking Raw at any point now on Mondays.
Well, let's just hope it doesn't
buffer.
buffer like that boxing fight that happened last Friday.
Dude, at this point, I didn't give a fuck if it buffered. At this point, with how it turned out, I don't give a fuck. But
we don't want that to happen with WWE though.
Dude, I'm scared for the first episode of Raw. The first episode of Raw is going to be so problematic because millions of people are going to be tuning in that I am honestly super excited to see the official number of people that tuned into that first episode on Netflix. Like that is going to be a groundbreaking, history-breaking fucking record that I'm excited to see.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how the ratings and all that work. We're just gonna have to wait and see what happens there. But yeah, there's a lot of craziness going on, and that's the thing that makes pro wrestling so awesome is that there's no off season. Football, basketball, all the sports that you watch, there's an off season.
I love
television show that you
wrestling.
watch, there's an off season going in between seasons. But when it comes to pro wrestling, there is no off season. So with that being said, let's get into the We Are Wrestling weekly recap for the We Are Wrestling podcast episode 135. Woo. And in the We Are Wrestling weekly recap, we talk about some of the highlights that happen on wrestling television. So, starting things off, last Friday on SmackDown, we saw the return of Shinsuke Nakamura, who attacked LA Knight. What's your thoughts on his return?
This is the second fucking return. Oh god. I thought it was kind of cool the first round, but something missing. You know, I'm like, all right, we're going into a good direction. But again, this doesn't feel like good enough to be like, yeah, I need to keep my eyes on fucking Shinsuke Nakamura, you know? I think it's kind of cool where we're going now. We have a little bit more of a darker, like nuanced character that feels very to his core in terms of like Japanese performers and like a lot of the times of how they present themselves during a heel run, especially in terms of like culture and everything. So I think that's really cool. But I'm gonna need to see a little bit more before I can really lay in some really good, like, grounded thoughts, because it's like I don't know what's gonna come with him. Like, are we gonna be getting those same almost like ominous vignette packages that we're getting with him in backstage talking about what he's doing? Is he gonna have like more of a supernatural approach, almost like the Wyatts? Like, where are we going with this new Shinsuke? So before I can really give you like my real thoughts, I'm gonna have to like wait a couple more weeks. But so far, a really, really decent thing because I was not expecting it. I wasn't expecting it. And when you don't expect it, there's some kind of, there's some kind of field to play with there. So I'm excited.
I did hear rumors of him being backstage, but I didn't think anything was going to come through of it. I thought that he was just going to wait, like just do the like live events, the house shows, doing what he's been doing, and eventually he was going to leave. But I will say I like that he is going to be feuding with LA Knight. We need something new to really freshen up Knight, which I did like the Andrade and the Carmelo Hayes stuff. But besides that, who else did we really have to compete with LA Knight? Really nobody. So honestly, bringing in Shinsuke Nakamura is not a bad decision.
No.
The only thing to me that's unfortunate is he's going to end up going through the same exact thing that he went through after losing to Seth Rollins multiple times. Because we all know LA Knight is not losing to Shinsuke in this feud.
No, I can tell you though, off topic, who I'd want to take the belt off of LA Knight.
Okay,
and I already
I
have
can tell
an
you
idea
too who I want.
On 3. 1.
All right, 2,
3.
3. Solo Sikoa.
Oh. See, I was going more towards Uncle Howdy.
Nope. I got
I would go more towards Uncle Howdy.
the reason I'm choosing Solo Sikoa is because I think after like War Games and like I think going into the new year, Solo Sikoa is going to focus on winning a championship. And I think that it's going to help him solidify his role in this new bloodline. And I think that he's going to go on, have a pretty lengthy reign with the title. And I think eventually Jacob Fatu is going to get fed up with the way Solo talks to him, treats him. And I think Jacob Fatu is going to be the one to take the U.S. title off of Solo when the time is right.
I can...
Because I think especially like Solo's getting a lot of heat right now. So imagine how much more heat Solo can get by taking the title off a fan favorite like LA Knight.
Listen, I don't want to talk...
I don't
want to talk.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about how good Solo's getting right now. With this ain't a Solo. Okay, know what? Nah. Next week we're putting over Solo Sikoa because like we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. We'll put over Solo Sikoa next week because I do have some things I would like to say on his behalf. So you guys heard it here first.
All right, so we're gonna be putting over Solo Sikoa. Honestly, I'm not against that.
Hell yeah, because there's a lot of stuff to go down.
But yeah, with Shinsuke, I don't know. Like, I really, like, why can't they just book him the way they did in NXT? That's what I don't understand. He has so much aura to him.
Bro, there was like a lot of hype around his main roster debut. Like I thought this dude came from fucking Japan and like we've been like awaiting his arrival or something.
Yeah, and then they fucked it up by having him go against AJ Styles so early into his main roster run, and then they had him friggin' turn heel so random.
Wasn't Shinsuke a past WWE champion? Isn't he a former champion, like a world champion?
Never won the WWE title. He's a former Intercontinental champion, and he also did win the NXT title.
Okay, so I know about that, but like I could have sworn to God he won like a WWE championship or something. I know he never won the Universal.
He was always this close.
Gotcha. See, like I would be cool with that if they built him right. Like, again, for any anime fan that's sitting here right now that watches this show, if they built him like Sukuna from a show called Jujutsu Kaisen, that dude 100% would be world champion worthy. Like if they just built him that way. Sukuna's not a big guy, but if you know what I mean, if they built him of that same kind of riz and essence, even in Japanese, that dude's a world champion right there. And I know that Shinsuke is capable of it because I've seen his Japan run. I've seen a lot of his NXT shit. I know what he's capable of. Like you said, why aren't they doing it? You know? One
thing I do like about his new look that I will say, I kind of like that great Muda look that he's doing. I kind of see like what he's doing there. So I do like that. I just hope that like he doesn't get lost in the shuffle again, because I thought like when they brought him back on the Raw brand, I was enjoying this new side of Shinsuke with those vignettes with like the translation, like with the lower third titles. I really like that side of him. And it's just, I think him losing the Rollins so many times really got him lost in the shuffle. So I hope on SmackDown, like, we get something fresh here. And I hope that he doesn't get lost, because we know what he's really capable of doing.
There's something here called overbooking. And when you overbook losses, you are going to lose that kind of star power that you built around your star. And that's exactly what happened. So I agree.
And that's like one of the things that really scares me about Triple H's booking. Like, it's good, but a lot of the times, like, the people that lose, they continue to lose. And I don't like that.
In this case, it's not really, for me, it's not really the booking process. I think Triple H is just genuinely trying to help this guy find where his niche is in the main roster, and really finding like this actual version of Shinsuke not only do the fans deserve, but Shinsuke himself can be proud of, and that Triple H can also work with in terms of creative molding into the storylines. So I don't really see this as a failure as much as we're going through, we're going through trial and error at the moment, because to be fair, you're right. Like, yeah, I don't want to just give up on him,
because in the business you have to evolve, and sometimes things stick, Sometimes things don't.
Look at
Christian
Mark
Cage
Henry.
right now is a perfect
Yeah.
example. For years in his career, he got very stale. So now he's doing this whole Father of the Year thing. And he's gotten
Exactly.
instantly over.
Mark Henry, bro, is another example. He was big sexual chocolate in the 90s. He became
Comedy
the world's
act.
strongest man in 2006 and fucking decimated house, and it wasn't really much of a change.
Yeah,
Big Daddy
and
V was
then
his
from
hero.
like 2002 to like 2005, he was kind of trying to figure it out. So I get what you're saying.
Exactly. So it's like I feel like once we find it for Shinsuke, I don't think it's a booking thing. I think we're really just trying to find who Shinsuke really is right now. And honestly,
and I think that's
right now
I think
we're
that's a
doing
lot
it.
of people on the main roster too.
You know, now that you bring that up and mention it, I can honestly kind of see what you mean. But at the same time, I haven't found a lot of that lately. Like, I feel like we've been doing pretty good, but Shinsuke is one of the ones that has constantly kind of needed some kind of like reinvigorating there. Like, we needed some kind of, we're picking pieces, we're putting them together. We haven't found the correct fit yet, but we're going to get there.
Definitely. So, moving on now to our next We Are Wrestling weekly recap. On Monday Night Raw, we saw the return of Rhea Ripley, and the Women's War Game match is official. It's going to be Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, and Candice LeRae
That's kind of a
versus
stacked
Rhea
heel.
Ripley, Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, Naomi, and Io Sky. What's your thoughts on this War Game match?
It's kind of sad that the heels team is definitely stacked as fuck. Like, that whole fucking lineup is stacked, even down to Candice LeRae, bro. Like, that whole lineup is stacked. At least
I'm
we got
happy they
two
found a spot for
Austin in the ring.
Candice though, because she
Yeah,
was
we
like
got
lost
two
in the
Aussies
shuffle
in
for a
the
while.
ring. I think her going solo now and not having to worry about Indy Hartwell is going to be a big thing for her. I'm not saying that Indy Hartwell leaving was a great thing, but it does have a positive on Candice LeRae's career.
I think
we need
Nia
more
Jax.
solos.
That's the major positive because I think
She's
Nia
huge,
Jax
yeah.
and Candice have great chemistry.
They have great
on
chemistry.
screen.
And even with fucking Tiffany Stratton being there, it
Chef's
really does
kiss.
add more of the star power. I do like, however, the team on the face side, but at the same time, I can't help but get sick when it comes to Jade fucking Cargill. Like, I can't help but get sick. And I'm just like, just break them the fuck up already, because I have a feeling they're gonna have to throw in part of their storyline where they're not synced up as a fucking team and someone gets eliminated and then it's gonna be carried on into the next show. It's like, where that's smart, I just want a good fucking banger of a match, man. It's fucking War Games, I'm not surprised she's back this early. I know that she's been having some kind of like facial issues when it comes to like, what's going on with like her injuries and everything, Rhea. I wasn't expecting her to be back this soon, but
Me
I guess
either.
we do have something to build. It's organic, we've been on a streak for, the storyline for a while now, since Mania. So I'm not surprised to see that she's back in the mix. So all of it's organic. So I, again, really like the segment.
Yeah, so
Dashing Rhea Ripley.
I'm looking at this match card, and I will say, I think that it is looking great. Like, I actually do like the card here. It does make sense, logically. Because you do have Liv Morgan and Raquel. They are trying to get the women tag titles, so that Liv makes Raquel happy. Then you also been having that feud for the longest time with Bianca, Jade, and Naomi with Tiffany, Nia, and Candice. So it makes sense, like, who's in here. Io Sky, she's the number one contender, so I see they're trying to build some stock on her, which I'm glad they are, because she got lost in the shuffle immediately when she didn't get that rematch against Bayley for the title that she lost. Like, that storyline had more story to be told.
That, bro, and they also know that Io Sky is a War Games draw. Just go back
That
to
is
NXT.
true.
Just go back to NXT. You'll see what I'm talking about.
Yep.
War Games draw, bro.
But
so
you know what would
having
help?
her in there? Ooh.
But here's what I gotta say, though. You know what would help Jade Cargill out a lot in WWE?
Taking more of the bumps and letting people show her how it's done, but what?
No. We just need to have Jade Cargill just come up on stage before Raw or SmackDown goes on the air, and we need to have the ring announcer say, "Can you repeat after me? I have no talent." That would help her a lot, I think. Like, you remember
If
that
you
episode of SpongeBob?
if you do not put the picture of you and Jade Cargill on here when you say that,
you repeat after me? I have no talent.
I have no talent.
That was on point. That was a good one. And maybe I'm being biased because I didn't have the best meet and greet experience, and it didn't help either seeing a little girl who was excited to get a photo with her cry. So maybe I'm being a little biased here.
You know, that's not bias,
being an
bro.
evil
That's the
doink.
truth that nobody wants to talk about. So no, I get it. I get it. You're part. You literally run a podcast. You can talk about this whenever the fuck you want, Donnie. You're the boss here. You make and break the rules, son.
That's right. I'm the tribal chief, baby.
We
But
acknowledge you in
with
this
Bianca,
one.
though, I am tired of Bianca getting freaking holding this dead weight. I'm tired of it. I want her to go
Yeah.
back to being a women's world champion. I miss the EST.
No.
No, it's been a long time, Ben. It has been a long time.
Nope. You
She
had
has
me until-
literally
no,
had to
no,
carry
no,
freaking Jade for the
no,
last, like, fucking year and a
no,
half.
No. Unless she turns fucking heel, Donnie, I don't want her anywhere near a world championship because all we're
She's
gonna get
such
is
a
the
good
same
baby
fucking
face.
thing. Who cares, Donnie?
She is the John Cena of the women's division.
know that she's a good baby face, but it's boring as fuck. And do you want the fucking fans?
Okay,
to
but if
turn
she's
on
gonna
her the
feud
way
with
they
Jade
turned into
Cargill,
John-
you're telling me that Jade Cargill can convince you that she's a babyface?
No.
No way.
I'm not saying that, and I would allow that fucking squash match to happen at Mania, 100%. I would
Bianca
rather that
beats her
than
in
some
3
other shit.
seconds.
But I'm saying I don't want Bianca anywhere near a world title specifically until she turns heel or gets a gimmick change of some kind. Because, dude, I can't go through another period of where I'm just bored as fuck with the whole motive of Bianca Belair.
But here's why I feel like it wouldn't be boring. Because if you there's new champions. Like, we haven't got to see Bianca work with a heel Liv Morgan. We haven't got to see Bianca work with a heel Nia Jax. There's different heels and faces in this new era of WWE. The reason why we got sick of Bianca, here's the reason why we got sick of Bianca Belair. She kept working with Bayley. She kept working with Charlotte. She kept working with freaking Sasha. She kept working with Bayley. Like, she needs new opponents. Okay, well, Becky Lynch. That's who I meant to say.
Here's the deal, though, Donnie. Where that's all fine and fucking dandy and nice, the entire main roster has never fought against heel Bianca, so fuck you. The entire roster.
To be fair, some of them were in NXT going against her as a heel.
Hey, guess what? Majority of those are in fucking AEW or gone now. And so no, I would rather see heel Bianca more than anything because at least there's compelling television. Because it's like, dude, I want to see her go back and just wreck people the same fucking way Bayley did when she was the role model and started cutting down those wavy, wacky, inflatable arm tube men. I want to see her go do the same thing and betray everything she ever fucking knew. Because the moment Bayley did, look how she blew the fuck up.
This is like one thing, like when it comes to pro
Bianca
wrestling,
can at least fucking
come on, like some people shouldn't be heels, and I feel like she's one of those rare cases.
Dude, no. She needs to go heel at some point, dude. And I guarantee at least 5 people in the comment section will back that because they're just bored, bro. Just because they're bored on behalf of just boredom. And we know at least if she were to go heel, she would run with it better than Bayley, and you know it.
But I feel like...
But there was no denial there. You know it's true.
Okay,
Bayley
but at the end of the day... One of the key demographics, like when it comes to like the audience, is children. And the way that I was as a child, looking up to John Cena, that's how these little girls look up to Bianca Belair. And we've gotten so many like twiners through the years in the women's division. Trish Stratus and Lita flipping back and forth, heel face, heel face. Mickie James, same thing, heel face, heel face.
Donnie.
And even the 4 horsewomen, heel face, heel face. So Bianca Belair, I'm sorry, but she is the one person I am okay with being just a babyface.
Where you're okay with it, you also have to remember we're in fuck the audience era now. We're in fuck the fuck those kids era now. We're going to literal fucking Netflix, Donnie. That's not going to matter anymore. That demographic is not for children anymore, Donnie. Once January 1st hits, someone's dropping an F-bomb on fucking TV. Are you going to think anybody's parent is going to be fucking happy about that?
Guess what? As of right now, Bianca Belair is on the SmackDown brand, so there will be no F-bombs on the USA Network, Benjamin.
Well, guess what? Guess what? It's gonna happen one day, and when it does, I'm going to fucking send you a voicemail for 3 minutes straight of just me screaming.
Yeah, you're gonna be
it's
screaming
literally-
EST, EST.
Dude, I want her to do the same because here's the thing: they did it with Bailey. She was literally known as a role model and hugger.
Yeah, and look where she's
She
at
took
right
an
now.
axe to her fucking. She took an axe to her henchman, Donnie, on fucking live TV.
But where's she at now? She's fucking stale. You
Yeah,
know what I told
boring.
Ricky in the Full Gears prediction, Ben?
Yeah.
You know what needs to be studied?
What?
The downfall of Bailey and Mercedes Moné. It needs to be studied.
It does need to be studied, but at the same time, I'll agree with you there, and I'll give you that. But when it comes to fucking Bianca Belair, like you
Holy
said, she's a
shit.
John Cena. She would be able to easily flip back to being a face at any point, and the fans would be behind it. She is literally a female John Cena, like you said, and look at how legendary his fucking heel run was. All she has to do is do it once on the main roster, and she doesn't have to touch it again. Again, John Cena.
Well, let us know in the comment section below. Do you guys think that Bianca Belair should be a heel or a face? So when it comes to the War Games match, I will say I am looking forward to it.
I am too. But also, thank you for that plug for the comments, because I'm genuinely curious what people think about that, you know?
I think we're going to have to clip that.
We have to. We have to.
But I will say, though, like, I really, like, wish that we did get Wyatt 6 versus Final Testament at War Games. That
Bro,
would've
that's a
been good,
missed
too.
fucking opportunity. I'm surprised that that hasn't gotten announced yet. I thought that's what we were building to this whole fucking time.
Nope.
That honestly hurts my fucking soul.
And they're probably never going to have a PLE match against each other, either.
Dude, what are
Papa
we
Triple
reaching
H,
the end
we need
already?
to get on something.
Are we already on, like, towards the end of their feud? Like, I haven't really been able
No,
to
we're
check-
in, like, the
check
beginning
SmackDown.
right
Oh,
now,
thank fucking
kind of.
Christ. Thank fucking
Because the
Christ.
Miz, technically, he kind of, like, played the Wyatt 6,
Yeah, I know. He's with Final Testament now.
which I like. Karrion could use Miz's help on the main
So,
roster.
correct me if so they're not going to be facing each other at all at Survivor Series. Like, we're not
I don't
getting
think
a match.
so.
then?
As of right now, it's not confirmed.
Okay, so it'll probably if we're gonna get any answers, it'll be at the time of this recording. It's a Thursday, so tomorrow on SmackDown. So maybe we'll get an answer there. You know.
Probably. But moving on now to our last We Are Wrestling Weekly recap. I know, you and I, we don't watch NXT regularly, but there's a lot of upset students at Chase U University because apparently Chase U is over. And the reason it's over, Ridge Hollins defeated Andre Chase. And the stipulation was if Chase lost to Ridge, no more Chase U. Done. So what's your thoughts on them scrapping the whole Chase U thing?
What's a
From
Chase
what you
U?
know.
What's a Chase U? I have no fucking clue about any of the storyline. I didn't even know Ridge Holland was even fucking doing anything on NXT.
Dude, Ridge Hollins is like a main eventer over there right now. He's going for the NXT title in a couple weeks.
Good. Has his in-ring gotten better? Has he become safer, or has he been out there breaking necks still?
I think he has been a lot safer. There hasn't been any reports of anybody injured that's been working with him.
Thank fucking God. I wonder how many people were so hesitant. Were like, I could lose my job and let alone my career tonight.
Well, Andre Chase, like, he kind of lost his career a little bit because, like, Chase U was so over with that NXT crowd. And at first, like, I thought that this gimmick was just stupid. But then the more NXT traveled, like, going to, like, the 2300 arena, going, like, to all these different arenas doing their takeover shows, it was over with the crowd. And I was impressed with how good the Chase U thing was getting over. So, like, I don't understand why they are scrapping this. Like, it did benefit everybody that was a part of the group. I know Duke Hudson, he was somebody that was kind of lost in the shuffle in NXT. He joined the group. Thea Hale, she's like, I believe 20 years old, one of the more younger women wrestlers over there. And she's gotten instantly over because of, like, the segments and everything that they do at Chase U. It's pretty much like a whole, like, college thing. And, like, Andre Chase is pretty much, like, their professor. And, like, he's, like, the leader of it. And, like, you have the crowd. They're all wearing the Chase U shirts. And it's, like, a student section, man. I don't know. I always say don't fix something that's not broken. And this might be career suicide for Andre. So I do kind of feel bad.
Hashtag goddamn Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels doesn't like to have fun, apparently, in his older age. But
Party
up
pooper.
next, we have our comment of the week, and of course, the We Are Wrestling weekly news and rumors. We'll be right back with more We Are Wrestling podcast episode 135. Collecting has always had a special place in my heart, going all the way back to when I was a kid. I remember my parents taking me to Toys R Us and waking up on Christmas morning to a bunch of new action figures. I had bins filled with thousands of rare WWE, WCW, ECW, and TNA figures through the years until, unfortunately, I ended up selling my whole childhood without knowing the true value of my collection. 2 years after I made that horrible decision, the pandemic hit, and I realized there was a part of me that felt missing, and that was collecting. My whole life, I have loved collecting wrestling figures, wrestling memorabilia, classic video games, Nickelodeon stuff, sneakers, Funko Pops, and even Angry Birds. As time went by, I decided I wanted to get back into collecting, except this time, document it and rebuild my collection over on Best One Donnie. So, if you want to go back into time and relive my nostalgic memories, subscribe now. We're back, and every week we do this thing called... Oh yeah, this is not my segment, this is your segment.
Yeah.
Go.
Guys, every week on We Are Wrestling, we do the segment called The Comment of the Week, where if you comment on anything We Are Wrestling across our social medias, and if it's juicy enough, you get the comment of the week, basically. So, this comment this week is from Mr. Wick, haha, Baba Yaga. I bet all these dudes are so happy to just be around the boys again like old times.
And I'm assuming this is from the Big Event vlog.
Yep, the Big Event Vlog 6.
Yeah, man. That's like one of the cool things about going to a lot of these wrestling conventions and Comic-Cons. Just seeing, like, the actors, seeing the wrestlers just, like, dab each other up, hug each other, and just, like, catch up. It's always cool to, like, see that, like, little reunion.
Yeah, like, I think in the vlog itself, like, you saw Ric Flair going up to APA, right? In the vlog.
That was a really funny moment because
yeah,
everybody, like, I'm, like, already over there waiting to meet APA. And then, like, everybody just starts following Ric Flair and Lawrence Taylor. And they all got their cameras on, and it looks like I'm fucking, like, in the middle of, like, these guys fucking just shooting the shit talking. I felt like a celebrity for a minute.
Yeah, dude, it was like a whole. It almost looked like a whole like bunch of like paparazzi and shit. Almost.
Oh yeah, and
like
Ric Flair
everybody was
definitely
crowded.
had some drinks in him too, so it was pretty
Dude,
funny.
you could fucking tell just by the way he was slurring walking up, dude. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, man! Like you didn't you like just have a heart attack like 2 fucking years ago, and you're out here like this sloshed? Jesus.
Hey, there's only one person that can do it, and that's the Nature Boy. Woo!
Yeah. Honestly, yeah, that is like probably the best explanation anybody could have. Yeah. But good on him, man. Good on him.
But yeah, it's always cool to like just see wrestlers just shoot the shit and just like get to like catch up and just share some laughs, share some stories.
Yeah.
That's like one thing I've always enjoyed about going to these conventions.
Even at the Classic, you know, Nunzio talking to Ron Simmons as well,
cool.
along with Tony Atlas, you know, like just kind of seeing them, you know, just catch up and everything. It's almost like a more like pulled back the curtain kind of moment, you know.
Always love those. Good comment too. That was a really good comment.
Really, really good comment. So if you guys want to get your comment featured on Comment of the Week, make sure it's juicy.
And leave a comment. That's the most important thing, because without a comment, we can't do the segment. So, with that being said, holy shit, we got a lot of these, so we're going to be flying through these. So, with that being said, let's get into the We Are Wrestling weekly news and rumors. And this is where we talk about all the juicy things going on in the wrestling rumor news mill. All these sources out here with all this crazy nonsense that we get to talk about. The dirt thief. So, starting things off here. Oh man, speaking of the crazy boxing fight that happened over the weekend, according to WrestleVote, WWE is interested in booking a segment between Logan Paul and Mike Tyson at WrestleMania 41. Also, WWE has notable interest in having Jake Paul appear on a pay-per-view, premiere live event in 2025, minor talks have transpired between indirect parties, but nothing is official. What's your thoughts on this?
I mean, obviously it's money either way. I think if they're gonna do it anywhere, it's gotta be Mania involved with his fucking brother. So I mean, and Mike Tyson's also in the Hall of Fame, right? Isn't he in the fucking WWE Hall of
Yep,
Fame?
he is a WWE Hall of Famer.
So exactly. So I mean, at the same time, it makes sense, and why not on the biggest spectacle and in Las Vegas? Like it's money, man. And if you can do it right, and if you can write it right into the storyline, I mean, the writing's on the wall. Just make gold out of it. There's at this point, just pull the trigger. It's good. It's good television right there, dude. And maybe WWE can at least kind of have a good follow up to how much bullshit that fight was.
Well, first off, I do want to take this time to thank Jake Paul for making me a lot of money during that fight because I knew exactly what was going to happen. Just have to give Jake his flowers there. And to the people that want to be
your
smart
wallet flowers, shut
and make if you want to make money, stop betting against Jake Paul. Like, you really got to look at it.
And also, have this moment all week.
I have been waiting for this moment all week because it was fun pissing you. It was fun pissing all the boys off watching that fight on Friday.
Everybody was pissed, including me. Just like it was a waste. I didn't even care if he lost. It was just a fucking waste of time. The fight was. He was just like.
It was a horrible fight. I do.
It was
agree.
Awful. Fucking Taylor and Serrano killed that shit comparatively.
That was good.
Shit,
that was
dude.
really good.
I was more compelled in that fight than the fucking main event.
I feel like that's how it always is, though, at boxing, like, 90% of the time. Like, it's always the undercards that are always, like, the more entertaining fights.
Yeah, usually they are, especially when they actually have something to prove, unlike, the fucking bullshit rigged-ass main events.
So now, getting into Logan Paul and Mike Tyson for WrestleMania 41, WWE should capitalize on this. Like, they would be stupid not to. They already have the connection with Mike Tyson.
And
Logan Paul's the best celebrity crossover in pro wrestling history.
Saudi Arabia.
So you have to do this. You have to. They
100%.
could do this.
100%.
And I think WrestleMania would be a great spot for it because you can have Logan Paul work with somebody at WrestleMania, have Mike Tyson planted in the crowd, and you could obviously have Logan Paul try to seek attention like he does. And then imagine Mike Tyson just giving him one fucking hook. The crowd would go nuts.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely, man. Big pop.
And you can even have Logan Paul face somebody and then have Jake manage Logan, and then you have Mike Tyson manage whoever Logan faces. And then you could do something there, because obviously after the fight, Jake and Mike Tyson pretty much, like, they've been putting each other over since the fight. Yeah. So, like, I'm sure, like, they'll be willing to do something at WrestleMania. So, like, I think they really should take advantage of it. Like, Logan Paul really did take advantage of the opportunity when Tyson was trying to call him out, and then Logan says, fuck no. So, honestly, I am all for this. Like, anytime, like, WWE can get more eyes on the product, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Well, moving on now to some sad news here. Timeless Tony Storm is retiring from pro wrestling. During an interview with SB Nation, Storm said this: "I'm not used to being a loser. I've failed at everything. I lost in AEW, I lost in Japan, I lost in Mexico. This is the last you'll hear from me again. Enjoy Mariah May as your champion. You can all enjoy that. AEW is just fine without me. Everything is going well for AEW. They don't need timeless Tony Storm." What's your thoughts on her sad retirement speech?
One, obviously it's bullshit. Two, good one there. And there's apparently a lot to probably backpedal on when she comes back. But what's her contract looking like? Do you know?
I don't know, but I feel like she is on a long-term deal.
Okay, and yeah, obviously.
Because I know she is married to Juice Robinson, who's a part of Bullet Club Gold.
That doesn't mean anything in these days, man. Like, a lot of people which I'm thankful for are genuinely thinking about their careers here and not necessarily like what the spouse is doing. Because Buddy Murphy, He's not coming back anytime soon. I'm pretty sure he just signed an extension not too long
Yeah, I
ago.
couldn't believe he signed that extension.
That's what I'm saying. It makes, dude, like there's nothing stopping a person from jumping ship. So I just wanted to know what it was like because last time she was in WWE, it was ran completely different and by somebody else. We know who Tony Storm was in NXT. So it's, I could see that possibility opening up again eventually. I'm not saying that, she's jumping ship and going to WWE. I'm not saying that. I just wanted to know what her contract was looking like, how she's feeling in AEW. But then again, she's also one of the best booked people in AEW, and her storylines have been incredible as Timeless Tony Storm. So I think it's obviously going to be really good seeing her have some time off and then come back a little bit more, where we know her. I wonder if she's going to go back to being her OG Tony Storm again when she comes back.
I don't think
That'd be
so.
cool. That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
She's very over right now with the Timeless thing. I think she really found like
Her niche.
Her niche.
That's literally it. No, that's it.
Yep.
That's it.
So when it comes to Timeless Tony Storm, I think that like she has built up so much stock with this new character that going into free agency, whenever her contract status, like whenever it's up, I do think that AEW is going to re-sign her for a lot of money because she is one of like the staples of the women's division over there. And WWE, let's be honest right now, they don't really need Tony Storm. Like their division is like, yes, like she would be a massive asset to the division, but they don't really need her. I think that she's more valuable where she's at right now.
100%.
Which is why I could definitely see her re-signing. And I think that this is all like a publicity thing because like during the predictions, like this wasn't announced because Ricky and we recorded it before AEW Dynamite, and apparently Mariah May is doing like a championship celebration thing. So I think that's where Timeless Tony Storm's going to make her return, and I think that she might get her title back at AEW World's End.
Maybe.
But I fucking love Timeless Tony Storm. Like, that was funny. Her fucking making a whole fake retirement thing. Hopefully one day we get her versus Wendy Richter. Hopefully. Moving on now to our next We Are Wrestling weekly news and rumors. CM Punk believes AJ Lee's WWE return will be bigger than his. During an interview with Cheap Heat, Punk said this: "That's the fun about wrestling fans. They look for stuff that are necessarily isn't there. They are always looking around this time of the year for big returns. I had mine last year. I think hers would be bigger than mine." So, what's your thoughts on that? Do you think that AJ Lee's return will be bigger than Punk's, or no?
Fuck no. But it's going to be big. It's going to be big, especially for, again, I watched that entire interview this morning. He was saying that AJ Lee, she was the very, very tail end. By the time she left, it was the very, very tail end of the Divas division. Like it was a very different time, a different ship, a different company that it was before, and obviously, as you know, AJ's great, I agreed with what he said about them. You can take them from their era and pluck them in any other era, and they're going to do great, It would be nice to see what, AJ Lee can do in today's, women's division, having the same equal opportunities as men. And a lot of the time, the women's matches are a lot more heavy hitters and have a lot more compelling stories. So it's like, adding AJ Lee to that mix, that's a big deal, man. That's a very, very big deal because I feel like she was one of the pioneers of getting the women's revolution started. So I think that, 100% having her be a part of what she was a pioneer of creating in the company that she became huge and a household name would be a big deal. So yeah, I think it's going to be big, but not as big as his. He's CM fucking Punk, bro.
It is cool, though, to see him put over his wife like that.
Of course.
Because I know there's a lot of fans out there that really want to see her come back. That's been the question that's been asked the most about CM Punk since returning to WWE is, when's AJ going to join? And a lot of people don't know this, but AJ Lee, she's been very, very successful outside of pro wrestling, which is why you don't really see her in the scene often. I believe she has like her own book. I think she does like comics and stuff, and she has like a lot of other ventures going on right now. I could definitely see her eventually down the line coming back and maybe doing like some mixed tag matches, kind of like what Beth Phoenix did with Edge during Edge's last run with the WWE. because I think that would be kind of cool to see AJ and Punk versus like Dirty Dom and Liv. I think that would be a really fun match. Because I think Liv reminds me a lot of AJ Lee, like what she's doing now is what AJ was doing back in 2012.
See, I think AJ is going to come back for at least one more run of her own. Like, I don't think it's going to just be like, as like a marquee match. Like, I think she's going to come back for one more, solid run, and then eventually will fizzle out into the marquee matches with CM Punk and stuff like that. Because I think she's in too good a shape not to have a really decent run. One, and two, she's not riddled with injuries. She's not riddled with injuries. She's not super up there in age either. She's still very much so calloused, like she could do this. So I don't see just marquee matches being on her card, bro. I don't think that's her. I don't. And I don't think if Triple H were to come bring her back, she'd be on a pretty good deal. So
just imagine at the Royal Rumble number 30, you hear that theme song light it up. The crowd is going to lose their shit.
Oh, dude. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I really do hope, though, that she does come back. And I always love a good CM Punk interview. And I thought Cheap Heat, they did a great job during the interview. They got some good questions in there. And, he looked great.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
Taking more shots at AEW, too, in the process. Which I always find entertaining. I don't give a fuck.
Because they're very light,
Yeah, exactly. It's like little jabs. It's funny. They like to do it to him. It's whatever. Moving on now to our next weekly news and rumors. We got a huge update on the Street Profits. According to PW Insider, the Street Profits are currently locked into deals with WWE, and it's likely recent comments were to garner attention more than anything else. Montez Ford has been working on some outside projects as of late, but beyond that, there's been no belief internally that he or Angelo Dawkins are leaving. How do you feel about that?
Never been a fan of Street Profits. I mean, I was at one point, was hot on Montez Ford for a little bit, but I think that ship sailed a long time ago for me. But hey, man, I mean, get the money, get the bag. You get to, travel with your wife. You get to watch her do awesome things, and you get to do some pretty fun things yourself along the way. So, you know what? Congrats on the journey.
So, I've always been a Street Profits fan, and they've been lost in the shuffle for the last couple of years, in my opinion. And I still believe what Montez said in the interview was frustration. Because, him and Angelo, they haven't really been booked strong the last, 3 to 4 years. Because, of course, the Bloodline has been, the main storyline. So the Usos, they had the tag titles for such a long time. And there's only, so many times you could just put over somebody. And then, obviously, they ununified the titles, so Raw has one, SmackDown has one. And, I hope someday, they do get their flowers, but I'll tell you right now, it doesn't help. B-Fab being a part of the Street Profits. Montez is so talented, that dude should be the one cutting the promos. Why is she talking for him?
Yep. I agree.
But we're going to have to wait and see. So that's good news for WWE fans. So the Street Profits aren't going anywhere. It would have been
how they
cool
can reinvigorate the careers?
Outside.
How they can reinvigorate careers? Turn heel. Let Bianca turn heel and throw out VFAB. That'd be a way better stable anyways. Because there's actual chemistry there too. So that would be beautiful. It would be beautiful.
Montez and Bianca, that would be kind of cool.
And heel?
They don't need to be together on screen.
But it would be great, and it would fit so much.
It would
better.
be interesting, I will say that.
Let's shake up the world a little bit, Don.
Speaking of not shaking up the world, typical WWE. They have filed the trademark Edge, which means Adam Copeland cannot use his WWE name still. What's your thoughts on that?
Just to sell product and merchandise and stuff for him. I mean, all the proceeds and shit are going to Edge anyways. It's literally his character. So, I mean, it's it doesn't really affect anybody considering he's already Adam Copeland in AEW. So, it doesn't really matter. It really doesn't. It's a business thing, and that Edge wouldn't make a big fucking deal out of it. So, it is just to make new toys, probably new shirts, all that other shit. Just to be able to continue selling merchandise. That's it.
Yeah, it's a business at the end of the day, so I get what WWE is doing.
It's not to be petty.
And it wouldn't make sense for Adam Copeland to go back to Edge when he's been rebuilding himself as Adam in AEW. It would have been cool for him to have the trademark of Edge, because I always believe like the talent should have like the rights to their name, because it's pretty much like them.
Man.
But I get it at the same time, like WWE doesn't want Edge to make money on AEW using what they created.
They already cut him enough slack letting him keep his moniker. That's all that mattered, is that he still is the rated R superstar. That's it. That's all that mattered.
Hey, at least you trademarked that.
Exactly. So that's all that mattered. That's all that mattered.
Exactly. And I can't wait to see Adam Copeland come back to AEW. I'm waiting. I think he's very close to returning.
Mm-hmm.
But moving on now, speaking of somebody that's probably never going to be returning to AEW, I couldn't believe this when I saw it. We got an update on where Danhausen has been with his AEW status. According to Fightful, Danhausen's contract with AEW runs through the summer of 2025, and there's zero creative plans for him. Sources also claim AEW and Danhausen have not been in regular contact for over 6 months, aside from indie date approvals. Danhausen was set to return from injury about a year ago, but expressed frustration to TK when plans for his return changed. There were pitches to bring Danhausen back earlier this year, but nothing materialized, though he remained willing to return to AEW. AEW was on the belief that Danhausen wanted to prioritize indie bookings over wrestling on Collision on Saturdays. On the other side of things, it was said that he indicated to AEW that there were family-related reasons that caused adjustments to his availability. AEW had seen him doing indies before that period and believed he didn't want to work for Collision. What's your thoughts on this? 'Cause that's a lot to take.
Yeah, because he even knows, bro. He even knows. It's bullshit, bro. So yeah, he's just trying to protect himself. That's all I see it as. He's trying to protect himself and know his worth. That's it. And some people just don't. And let's not get it twisted. Danhausen was a big pull for AEW, man. He was popular as fuck. He was over his shit, and he's been willing to return. And you fucked it up because you guys are bitter over shit that's been over for like a year. So I don't know, man. I just, it's one of those things where you're just protecting yourself, and you got to think about yourself, regardless, considering your own boss won't fucking listen. So it is what it is.
He is an independent contractor at the end of the day. The people that are signed to WWE are also independent contractors. So in my opinion, like, you always have the right to express how you feel about the way you're being booked, how you're being used, and Danhausen, like, I don't blame him, but at the same time, I kind of see where AEW is also coming from with these reports. Like, I see it from both sides, because Danhausen has it does seem like he is prioritizing indie bookings, going to Comic-Cons, then working for AEW. And I think what AEW needs to do, and I say this all the time, even with like frustrated WWE guys, just let him go. Like, you're paying the dude to sit at home and do nothing. Like, right now, Danhausen is probably chilling because he's getting that AEW check. He gets to go to independent wrestling shows, make more money doing that. And he still gets to do his content on his YouTube. So, like, Danhausen's chilling right now.
Yeah, he's got the bag. He's good.
And I feel like the reason, too, like, Danhausen probably doesn't want to be in AEW as well is because one thing that we do know is when CM Punk was over there, him and Danhausen, they were very close. Like, they became like best friends during
unspoken punishments. Yep.
So, unspoken punishments. I agree with you on that. But we're going to have to wait and see what happens here. And it's crazy because I feel like Danhausen has had more AEW action figures than matches, which is fucking nuts.
Gnarly
to think about. Which, I don't know. We're just going to have to wait and see what happens with him. Which, I don't know. Like, I could see him definitely going to WWE down the line. Maybe like NXT
eventually.
or something.
Yeah.
But moving on now to our next We Are Wrestling Weekly News. We got an update on Becky Lynch's WWE status, according to PW Insider. Both sources within WWE and Netflix have stated that Becky Lynch is expected to be back in the mix with the company by the time Raw premieres on Netflix. That would mean that Lynch and WWE are close or have confirmed a new agreement between both sides. What's your thoughts on this news?
I've been the type to not care until she finally comes back because I've had so much like just Becky Lynch fatigue, dude. I've been enjoying the time away. I've been enjoying it. She was starting to fall in that same line as Charlotte Flair for me. And I was just like, dude, if that's happening, I need a break from you. And I'm stoked for her to come back, but at the same time, I have no thoughts on it because it's just until she comes back, I don't know what the angle is. And maybe go for the mid card.
I was
Maybe
just
do
gonna
that.
say,
Maybe
I
go
could
for
see
the
her
mid card.
being like the first like women's intercontinental champion or something.
Mm-hmm. I could see that being like her first thing is that, and like putting over the real like first intercontinental champion after she, obviously relinquishes the title.
And that would work too. Like she could put over new talent by doing that. So like I wouldn't be totally against her winning the title.
She could come back with that announcement.
That would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
So I will say this, like with Becky and WWE, like I've kind of felt the same way. Like I'm a fan of her work. I think she is phenomenal. She is so talented. But she's one of those cases where she does get so stale so quickly. And maybe that's because she is one of the top women in the promotion. So of course, like you got to have her like on the posters. You got to have her consistently on television. And I think for me, like I didn't like the fact that she won the women's championship before Liv. I felt like Liv should have had that title before Becky. But I get why they did that during the time. But I will say, like, with Becky coming back to WWE, I do think it's a good thing. Raw does need that star power because I still stand by what I said. There's only 3 women on that roster that actually feel important.
Yep.
And that's Liv, Raquel, Rhea. And they're starting to, like, do stuff with Io, which is good, but she's not there yet. Because she lost a lot of momentum in the process. So, Becky, mid-card, I agree with you. Totally down for that. Moving on now to our last We Are Wrestling Weekly news and rumors. AEW talent are, according to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, AEW talent are very happy with Thursday Collision tapings. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, the main AEW talent liked the Thursday Collision tapings because it's easier to stay an extra day after Wednesday shows than to travel home Thursday and return Friday or Saturday. What's your thoughts on them doing the tapings on Thursdays rather than doing live episodes on Saturdays?
I don't know because I don't watch the show in general.
Well, how do you feel
think?
Okay, let's say you are an AEW talent. How would you feel about working a Thursday rather than a Saturday?
Oh, dude, fuck yeah. All day. Because then I got the weekend to do whatever the fuck I want. Yeah, all day.
So here's where I stand with the tapings. I've been saying it since they announced Collision. It should be on Thursdays.
Yeah.
Like, why, like, are you having... Because that was, like, the one thing that really helped AEW out in, like, the old days, because obviously I'm a day one AEW fan. And one of the cool things about the old school AEW was you get to go to, like, these independent wrestling shows, like a Blitzkrieg or a Northeast Wrestling, or just GCW or something. And you can watch AEW stars wrestle, and you can get the opportunity to meet them. And that was, like, one thing that really hurt when they made the announcement for Collision. Like, I was happy they were able to get a second, like, television show that actually mattered. I'm not counting Rampage. But I was like, what's going to happen now? Because I think what helped AEW out in the early days with the ratings and everything was having these wrestlers go to these independent shows, because then you're pretty much exposing them to people that are there to maybe see like a former WWE superstar. Like, there's a lot of people that connected with Darby Allin at Northeast Wrestling before there was an AEW. MJF being an asshole at his friggin' merch table. So, like, with AEW, like, I thought, like, them going to Saturdays was a huge mistake. So I do like the fact that, like, they are doing Thursday tapings, because that does open up the wrestlers getting more independent opportunities on the weekends or conventions. And Ben
I
over
agree.
here is tying his shoe.
Nope, I just had to grab something. Sorry, I dropped something.
That's all
But,
right.
yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I don't know. I think Thursdays are just the move in general because, I feel like it's less of a hectic thing because it's not necessarily the end of the week. There's still some juice in the tank, and you're not, again, working on a weekend. Working on a weekend fucking sucks, bro, for anybody, for any reason, because that's when I feel like you miss the most, even with like a slow schedule, because a lot of people's availability is open on weekends. So it's like, I don't know. I'm just with it.
Well, plus too, AEW is going to be saving a lot of money in the process. Like if you're like in the same town, you have 2 tapings, you have 2 recordings. It makes sense. Like you're saving a lot of money on travel too.
100%. 100%.
So I think that this is smart for AEW, and hopefully we can get Collision off of Saturdays and move it to Thursdays because maybe I would actually watch it.
Yeah.
But up next, well, we might as well just get into it. We might as well not even have a commercial break because we got our We Are Wrestling main event topic. And oh boy, I thought that friggin' we were spoiled already for Survivor Series because I know we did talk about this a little bit, and during the live episode, all you guys, including Danny, fuck you, Danny Huckins, had to spoil it and say, Survivor Series, Seth Rollins is going to be on Team Roman, and Bronson Reed's going to be on Team Solo, which I am so glad to say that Seth Rollins is not going to be on Team Roman. And there's no way that he can be on Team Roman now after what he said backstage on Raw. So here's the question, Ben, for our main event topic. Who should be the 5th member of Team Roman?
CM Punk. Paul Heyman will be coming back with the original head of the table, and that is CM Punk. Because again, me and Danny were talking about it. You were a part of the conversation this morning in the We Are Wrestling chat. Who better than one person that's already been in the segment who asked to help get Heyman out of the bloodline with Solo was CM Punk. So if anybody has ties right now, it is him. And after this is going to kickstart a potential feud between Seth and CM Punk for WrestleMania. So this is a big deal, man. Seth's involved. He's involved. So
Yeah,
I don't know, man. That's who I think. That's who I got at least.
Yep, I think it is going to be CM Punk. Like, this makes the most sense. He returned at Survivor Series last year after the War Games match. So what better way than to have him a part of this? Because you have to remember, CM Punk and Paul Heyman's relationship, even during the time when the Bloodline were heels, they never got away from it.
Yep.
Like, that was the one rule that Paul Heyman had with Roman. Stay away from CM Punk.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, they have still, like, they're not, like, shying away from their relationship on television all those years. CM Punk has always been a Paul Heyman guy. So, for him to get justice for Heyman by joining Team Roman, I think that would be a poetic ending right there. That is perfect.
What better place than the place that he came back to the company a year ago? So it just this would be, oh god, that's like the one way that you can up the whole entire situation.
And then you can also add like a heel Seth Rollins in the process. Maybe he tries to cost CM Punk and cost the bloodline, the OG bloodline. And he kind of lets his jealousy get the better of him, like Kevin Owens.
As Bronson's still in the match, so you know he's going to be involved in it some capacity. So it's gonna happen, bro. Something.
I will say I kind of like Bronson being with Team Solo, low key.
Yeah, at least
I had my doubts about it at first, but
he even got the tribal.
He looked really good. He does look really good with them.
Yeah, he does.
But man, CM Punk being the 5th guy, like that'd be perfect. Like, there's no way.
And the return of Paul Heyman too. Fuck.
Like, it scares the shit out of me. Like, there's no way Seth Rollins could be that 5th guy. It can't happen. Because he said under any circumstances, he will never work with Roman Reigns again. Those were his words, not mine.
Yeah, I know. I'm aware.
But we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. I'm excited. I hope it's CM Punk. I really hope so.
I hope
Do you think Final Boss shows up, though?
Nah, possibility, because especially since that's where he debuted over 30 years ago. So, or about to be 30 years ago in 2025. So, yeah, 100%.
Well, you guys all know how it works in professional wrestling.
Anything's
Things
possible.
change, and that is why next week, hopefully on, I'm thinking Wednesday it'll come out. We Are Wrestling. We're going to be doing a big Survivor Series predictions. And the goal for this, like we haven't figured this out yet behind the scenes, but I really want to get me. I really want to get you. I think I want to try to get Phil and Ricky. I want to have four. I want four of us to be doing a predictions.
What's up?
Oh, you there?
Yeah, I've been here.
Oh, it kind of like froze there for a minute.
Oh, okay. But yeah, you, me, Phil, Ricky.
Us four, man, doing the Survivor Series predictions next week.
That'd be sweet. That'd be sweet.
Yes, sir. Which, Survivor Series week is going to be a crazy week next week. And the only way to stay in tune with us, with what's going on, is hitting that subscribe button now and following us over on all the social medias, because We Are Wrestling. We do post consistently on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So that is the best way to stay in touch with everything that's going on, plus our community tab over on the YouTube page. But just a couple reminders. If you guys haven't checked out the AEW Full Gear predictions, Ricky and myself, we shared all our predictions for the pay-per-view, and we'll be doing a live watch-along this Saturday night, tomorrow night. So if I were you guys, that's the best way to interact with us. We're going to be enjoying the show live, so we do hope to see you guys there. Also, you can get yourself some merch, some holiday gifts from Pro Wrestling Tees. And we got a couple designs up on the website right now, including the Extreme shirt. That's right, this is an OG shirt. And now you can finally get it on Pro Wrestling Tees. But to all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs, let us know in the comment section below your thoughts on all the topics that we covered this week. Man, what a news week. If you guys enjoyed this, make sure to smash that like button now. If you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, and you're listening to this episode on Apple, Spotify, Google, wherever you get your podcast, please give us a 5-star review, not just any review, a best one review, and download the episode. Give us a follow. If you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, over on the YouTube channel where you get the best pro wrestling content, and you can join. We do live watch-alongs all the time on there, live streaming, and we do a lot of videos as well. Recommend you guys to hit that subscribe button now, turn on the post notifications. It's the best way to stay up to date with everything that's going on. Links down in the description box below. You can go follow Ben and I over on our social medias and other adventures. Ben, he is live on Twitch, so you guys can go check that out. And myself, I am doing a lot of toy videos over on the Best One Donnie channel. So if you guys want to go follow us over on our other adventures outside of the pro wrestling world, well, mine, I'm kind of in the wrestling world because I do talk about wrestling figures a lot. You can go follow us. The link's down in the description below. And, of course, to all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide, we are taking over. Peace.